Hello, friends. Welcome to my channel. I am Ananda Rose, and I hope you're doing really well. And thank you for joining us. Today, I have with me Emma from Being Magic and Craig Lyle. Hello, guys. How are you?
Right. No,
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you.
That's good. Sorry, I got to come closer to the microphone, eh? So, everybody, the reason we are doing this little recording or coming to you today is to tell you all about the Africa activation, because if you've listened to the little clip that I put out, sound clip that I put out yesterday, you'd know that we are doing the Africa activation on Saturday, the 20th of July at 5 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time. And it's a free live event. Okay. So are the both of you excited about doing this?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yes, nice, really nice. So I'll tell you quickly, because we know that it's a short video. We're doing the Africa activation because we were called to do this Africa activation where we bring down the lights to Africa. Now, not that Africa is in complete darkness, because that's not the case, but many of us here on the planet have been commissioned to do certain things, and it's only coming to our consciousness or our realization now, our awareness now, as we take our own journey. So this is what we're going to be doing now on Saturday. When we start the event, we will explain what is going to happen in the event. So, but what we'd like to suggest to everybody who comes to the event is that you prepare yourself into this place of where after the activation or during the activation, you can go outside and you can light some candles wherever you are in the world and bring down the lights for Africa. Okay. Now, this is one of a few more that's coming up. So it's not just going to be Africa that's going to happen. We are starting with Africa because it is said to be the seat of civilization. Okay, right. So I've explained what we're going to be doing or why we're doing it. So Emma, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, thanks, Rose. I am excited about it. Obviously, having grown up in South Africa since the age of 2, even though I left South Africa, it is a place that sits very much within my soul. I think anybody that's lived in Africa knows what I'm talking about. It's a place with a lot of soul, despite its problems. And I'm really excited about this because I feel that it could just do with a little bit of a boost. And it's really important because it's also said to be the solar plexus of the planet. So if we are on this journey of empowering ourselves and moving into new times, it makes sense to start with the planet's power center. So I'm very excited.
Exciting. What about you, Craig?
Yeah, Rose, as you know, I'm also born and bred in South Africa, so come from there. It's kind of it's in our blood. But you know, there's a lot of problems there, and it's often difficult for those of us that are really kind of emotionally sensitive to be in that kind of environment. And I've come to New Zealand, and I know it's helped me to just clear myself and be in a better space to now be able to go back, in a sense, and help Africa, the world, bring the light, you know. So I know it's just such a beautiful, beautiful country and continent, and it is a power center of the world. And I think even economically going forward, there's such potential there. We just need to change and bring the light back in there. And the dragon side of it's quite interesting because we think of dragons as old mystical creatures from you know, from a time back and whatever, but we don't realize that they're around us in all countries.
Yes.
Waiheke Island, that's just off Auckland, is spoken about it looks like a dragon, you know. So I think dragons are mystical in a sense, but they're all around us. And I was very blessed a number of years ago to be told by one of my guides that I'm actually a dragon rider, you know, and that I can communicate with dragons and connect to them. And I haven't done a lot. I have done dragon work, but I'm not connecting with them all the time. I've done quite a lot of things in New Zealand around dragons and all around the world. And I think it's a good time for us to be connecting to our inner dragon in ourselves, that we as individuals dragons don't really go in flocks of like birds do, whatever they're kind of seen as individual
Yes.
things and a strength of an individual.
Yeah.
And we need to be that individual strength ourselves to change the world, obviously collectively, but we need to go within our own inner dragon, that own inner strength that we have within ourselves to bring about that change, you know. So I'm really excited about it. It's a beautiful time for us at the moment.
Yeah, wow. I like that. I love that explanation about the dragons, that what you said about the dragons not going like they almost seem solo, right? The way they operate. It's almost like what we had to become, a little bit solo and hermit mode and be on our own and learn to operate singularly, and then we'll come together again to do whatever it is that our mission is to do on the planet for this time.
Yeah.
And I say mission because I do believe our sole purpose, a lot of it is about the mission we have on the planet. Yeah. So, anything else you want to say, Emma? Like, can we ask you about who's coming with you to the activation?
Oh, yeah, of course the dragons are coming. I mean, I'm working a lot with them at the moment, and they seem to be, waking me up and coming in and doing all sorts of things with me. So I am just, I'm going with the flow, and I'll see what happens on the day. But yes, I am certain the dragons will be there. They're really powerful at helping to clear stuck and dense energy. And I think that is definitely what is needed in places like Africa. And there are obviously other parts of the world that are pretty dark, but Africa is definitely one of them.
Yeah. Sorry about Baxter. If you can hear him in the background, it's just a little oh God. Baxter's going to go around the world now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like what you're saying there. And, there's so much we can say about Africa. There is so much we can say about Africa. It's like the forgotten continent sometimes. And, everyone, please excuse Baxter. Just might have to pause. He's going to stop now because the doggies have gone past. There's some doggies on the street, and that's what he's doing. Okay, so that was good. Apparently, no, it wasn't very loud. Anyway, so I've even forgotten where I was now, but I'm just going to go with it. Were you saying something, Emma?
Yeah, just really about the dragons that can help us shift that dense energy. So yeah.
Yeah, I believe they can. I've been hearing a lot more that they can help us with more than just huge things that affect the collective. Also try to invite the dragons to help in your personal situations as well, because I think that's what's going to happen. Is that they're available, like we ask the angels and the archangels to help us with all things, we can ask the dragons to do likewise. So, after all, they do come from the elemental kingdom, so we can expect some help from them in various ways. So I want to say, I know that Emma said she was from South Africa, so is Craig, and so am I. Okay. And even if you're not from South Africa, our lifetimes, this lifetime, we were born in South Africa. And so we've lived there. We know what Africa's like. We understand it. We understand the passions. And I know anybody who is from Africa anyway, you'd understand what it's like. But that doesn't mean that if you're not from Africa, you can't be a part of this activation. This is for worldwide, we're starting off with Africa, but we're going to go to other places. And also remember that we've had many lifetimes on the planet. So, if you don't have a lifetime in a certain place in this lifetime, or you haven't lived in a country in this lifetime, doesn't mean that you do not have heritage through the past lives in there. So, and it's coming through. So this is what I will encourage you to do. Remember to get yourself ready, be prepared to be in your space. Take some time to maybe tune in and be mindful before you get into the session. If that's not available to you, that's still okay. Get into the session, because that Emma's meditation is going to take you into your mindfulness space, right? Craig is bringing in his guides. Are we allowed to ask about the guides now, Craig, or shall we wait for Saturday? You tell me.
Well, yeah, the interesting thing is that my main guide is a Native American, and then I have another Aboriginal guide, and those are what we'd call, native people to those areas. And as we come from Africa, there are native people there as well. And even in their cultures, and that they have these mystical beings, and that, so it doesn't matter really where you're from, as you say, we're all connected in some way, and it's all about all of those native peoples all talk about Mother Earth, Gaia, and it's about the planet. It's not about this is my land or whatever. It's about this entire planet, and that's really how we need to look at it. We need to heal each part of this planet, and almost like I was playing with my granddaughter, went for dinner there on Sunday night, and we had a little jigsaw puzzle we put together, and it's just putting those pieces together. You've got to look and see, okay, we've got to start, then we're going to build this little puzzle here, and then we'll get to the end, and we'll have this beautiful picture of the whole planet with light everywhere. It's building that puzzle kind of one piece at a time.
I like that.
Where we're starting.
Yeah, I really like what you said. And it's true. Thank you for bringing that in, highlighting that, you've working with a Native American guide, an Aboriginal guide. The point is that we have had lifetimes in those native cultures. We still have it in our genealogy, so that doesn't mean you have to be physically in a place to only have a connection to that place. You can be in that place, and you don't have to be somebody who relates to the native peoples there in your physicality, but you would have had maybe history there, right? Historically, you would have been there, or somewhere in your genealogy, a family member would have been there. So thank you so much, everyone, for giving us your time and listening to what we had to say about the Africa activation. Before we go and remind everybody the time and date and all of that, is there anything else you want to say, either of you? You all good?
No, I'm all good, yeah.
Great. Looking forward to catching every one of you that's listening and it resonates with you on Saturday, the 20th of July, 5 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time for the Africa activation. We will be lighting up Africa. Come and find out what it's all about. So exciting. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Namaste.
Yeah.
Yes.